Good morning, everyone, and welcome to S-Bank First Quarter 2025 Result Webcast. My name is Riikka Laine-Tolonen. I am CEO of S-Bank, and together with me here in the studio is Mika Heikkilä, our CFO. I will shortly present first some highlights and discuss how our strategy is in progress, and then Mika will do a bit more deep dive to financials. First quarter 2025 growth continued during intensive welcoming phase. Our result was in line with expectations, and our operating profit was 23.9 million euros. You can see that there is decrease 44% compared to the corresponding time period last year, and that is of course mainly because of decrease in interest rate levels. However, we also kept investments to our strategy on high level. We are very happy to see that our relevance for Finns is increasingly getting stronger, and more customers use us as their preferred bank. When we look at the number of active customers, rose with 17% to 790,000 active customers. This growth is impressive. It equals this 115,000 to number of inhabitants in Lahti city. The Handelsbanken transaction has strengthened our balance sheet. The lending base grew to 9.4 billion euros and deposit base to 9.6 billion euros. And you can see that the capital adequacy ratio has been strengthened, of course, due to profit development, but also because of the impact from Basel IV to 25%. What is important for us is that the customers who we welcomed from Handelsbanken end last year, they are settling well to S-Bank. I will share some more information about this later in the presentation. Also, our development projects are progressing as planned, and in addition to these development projects related to strategy, we are continuously also investing in the security of our services and strengthening the foundation of the bank. When we look at the operating environment, the economic outlook is uncertain. You can see on the left-hand side the GDP and private consumption in Finland, and on the right-hand side you can see the housing prices in Finland. All in all, uncertainty has dominated the economic environment during the first months of 2025. And the uncertainty has also had negative impact on the recovery of Finnish economy, and even if the economy has started to recover, it has been slow, and mainly thanks to falling interest rates. Business confidence in the market has slightly improved, however the consumer confidence has remained weak. The housing market has recovered, however only at the moderate pace, and we can also see the number of housing loan applications growing in S-Bank. Let's have a look on our business areas, and first, before going to the business areas, bridge from the outlook to our outlook. We have kept our outlook for 2025 unchanged. And we aim we estimate that we would reach approximately 100 million euros operating profit this year. Behind this is of course global uncertainty, but also there are other uncertainties related to Finnish economy, employment and real estate market. And even if we can see that the Handelsbanken transaction has a positive impact on our earnings, these uncertainties and also our investments to our strategy conclude this outlook. And when you compare this outlook to last year operating profit levels, please note that there was one-off negative goodwill which was recognized as income last year. But then to business segments, and first banking. Banking is the largest business segment of ours. And what is here very positive is that we saw in banking increased customer activity, especially when we look at deposits and usage of our services, and especially card services. Etukortti Visa card purchases, when we look at the euro numbers, they grew with 18% compared year on year. The operating income in banking was 91.3 million euros and operating profit 26 million euros. And lending book 8.2 billion euros and deposit book 9.0 billion euros end quarter one. All in all, when we look at the market position, we can state that when we became fourth largest bank after Handelsbanken transaction in mortgages, we kept the position during Q1 stable. And then wealth management, our other important business area. Here we can see that there was good development in the number of unit holders in our S-Bank funds. During the first quarter of this year, the number of unit holders grew with 3.8%. However, when we look at the development of the number of the unit holders year on year, the growth has been 60,000 new unit holders. The segment income rose to 11.8 million euros. However, the operating profit was slightly negative. Asset under management 8.3 billion euros. And when we look at the net subscription, despite that we can see that now the household customers, of course, their willingness to invest has been lowered due to the uncertainties and global political and economical situation. We can see that the net subscriptions during the last 12 months was 207.6 million euros positive. And then let's have a recap on our strategy. All in all, we have now stated that our strategic vision is that we want to be a partner for better day life and enable millions. We have 5 strategic objectives, and the first one is to have 1 million active customers in 2027. And we have now also set a target for high-value customers and customer experience. The number of high-value customers, what we want to reach in 2025 is 144,000 high-value customers. We are now only setting the target for this year because we want to learn about the customer behavior, and we are also building the new service model as we speak, and therefore the target for the rest of the strategy period will be set later when we are more aware what would be ambitious target. Customer experience target for this year is 55 Net Promoter Score. Profitability targets below 60% is cost-income ratio, and return on equity above 10%, that is unchanged, and then reputation and trust above 3.5 index points. And we have 3 main key change areas to execute this strategy. The first is Handelsbanken integration, and that we have completed last year, and now we are working on renewing the service model and improving the scalability. Very strong focus in this year, but also going forward towards the end of the strategy period. About customer base and reaching 1 million active customers, some thoughts about that. All in all, S-Bank has extensive potential in our customer base, and in our strategy we aim to capture this potential by enhancing the relationship what we have. And we are now, as mentioned, besides this active customer number target, 1 million, also we have set the target for the high-value customers, and we are working on building the service model so that we would be able to cater also for more complex needs and give more holistic advisory. To this service model building we will come back later. And I can also say that even if we don't communicate clearly, we can see that the number of high value customers is already growing during first quarter. And then let's look at the Handelsbanken transaction. How are we now seeing the success at this stage? And what can be said is that we are very happy after the first quarter, quite intensive welcoming phase. All in all, what we mean with the welcoming phase is that during Q1 we have onboarded new colleagues, we have built new teams, and we have put a very high focus in keeping contact with the customers, and we have also advised in many ways our new customers. All in all, this transaction also strengthens our capabilities, and as an example, the number of our investment advisors has quadrupled and the number of loan advisors has doubled. And this means, of course, better ability to advise our customers in more complex financing and investment needs. We did a new survey and asked how do the customers feel after some months in S-Bank, and we can say that we are happy with these results. Over 2/3 felt that 2/3 said that the transfer was smooth. 2/3 feel that S-Bank is their main bank, and customers are especially happy with digital services and our S-Mobile. Customers are also increasingly happy and ready to recommend S-Bank. To me, this customer feedback is encouraging after this welcoming phase. However, we also want to be humble, and we need to keep building the services and our way of working to be even more customer-oriented and services even more easy to use. Then about digital services. All in all, customer-oriented digital services are in the very core of our strategy. They enable us, for instance, more personalized services and keep us relevant for our customers. And we systematically invest in the development of these services. And of course, S-Mobile is at the heart of all our transactions and keeping contact with customers. S-Mobile combines in a unique way S-Group services with banking services, and we can see that the popularity of the service is increasing. There are already now 2.4 million downloads and on a weekly level over 1.5 million unique users. And then, as I mentioned, we are, in addition to investing in digital services and other strategic development areas, we are continuously investing in security and building the foundation of the bank even more stronger. Our customers expect us reliability and uninterrupted banking services. As an example, how we do in this area during first quarter this year, we also faced several denial of service attacks, and thanks to our protective measures, these attacks had only very limited impact on customer applications. And in practice, we talk about some hours of disruptions. Of course, this is an area where we need to work even further. And regarding the strengthening of the foundation, we work continuously with operating models and risk management. And here an example, during Q1, we strengthened our capabilities with several specialist recruitments. To summarize first quarter, when we look at the financial targets, well in progress here. Active customer number well on track, 790,000 active customers. Reputation and trust, 3.74, even above our target for the strategy period. Return on equity, 13.9%, and cost-income ratio, 56%. Mika will talk a bit more about these financials in short. But then summarize highlights. First quarter, I'm very proud that our growth continued during intensive welcoming phase. And very happy that we received positive feedback from these new welcomed customers from Handelsbanken and several projects underway to develop the bank even further and execute our strategy. Thank you very much to our customers, employees, investors and owners. And with this, I will give over to you, Mika.
Thank you. So first I will start with our total income and operating profit more deeply. So on the left-hand side, you can see that our total income was 100 million euros in the first quarter, which equals roughly the levels what we have in previous quarters. One exception was this Q4 when we had this one-off item from Handelsbanken deal. We can also see that the falling interest rates they are affecting negatively to the net interest income. But in this Q1, actually the net interest level was on the same level as Q4. So the volumes from the Handelsbanken deal, they are supporting the net interest income very good. Also the net fee income was approximately the same level as it has been in the previous quarters. In operating profit, we can see that the result was clearly down, and it was this 24 million euros due to our investment program, but also after the acquisition. Here on the left-hand side, you can see the income and cost analysis. We can see that actually the total cost year on year they increased by 24%, especially the personnel cost. They were up almost 7 million. They are maybe 50% from the acquisition related and 50% from the increased personnel during this period. Also the administrative costs were up and there we can see the investments levels what we have at the moment. So both IT and development costs are up there. On the right-hand side, the income split between the banking and wealth management, no big change there. But then on the net interest income and net fee income share is a little bit changed. So the net fee income is a little bit up in this first quarter. Also the total income to total assets was at good level still, 3.7% in this period. Riikka mentioned earlier already that deposit was up 17.5%. So we can see here that also the level of the total deposits were up 2.4% from the end of last year, and both household customers and both corporate customers deposits were increased. So and also the time deposits, they were 954 million at the end of March, as they were 638 in last year in the same time. Lending was up 34.6%. So the Handelsbanken deal, of course, is supporting the levels. The total loan book was around the same level as it was at the end of the year. And here also the asset under management, so clearly up almost 30% year on year, and it's almost the same level as it was at the end of last year. So you can see also that the fund capital was 8.4% up, wealth management 34.4%, and then the funds issued by the other group companies, so it was 855 million. In repayment holidays and also in our credit quality, there are not big change. The levels are almost the same as earlier, a little bit downwards trend there, both in the share of the loans subject to repayment holidays and also the amount of loans are in euros decreasing. In credit losses, quite stable period here also. Non-performing loans, they were 1.7% as they were also in the previous quarter. The total expected credit losses, they were at the same level as they were at the end of last year. And also not any big changes in the stage 2 and stage 3 amounts and shares of the ECL. In balance sheet, so the total balance sheet is now 13.1 billion euros. No major changes there also. During this period, we paid back 1/3 of our bilateral funding or bridge funding, which was totally 190 million, what we paid back. And also we settled the final purchase price of this Handelsbanken deal and paid back 148 million in the period. As Riikka mentioned, the Basel IV came into the force at the beginning of this year, and it has positive impact to our capital adequacy ratio. And on the left-hand side, you can see that the total risk exposure amount decreased by 600 million. So it affected to the positively then to the capital adequacy ratio. Also the MREL requirement, we have still very good buffers there. So the ratio is 38.8% as the requirement is around 25.5%. So there are over 500 million buffer over the requirement. Our capital position is strong, equity ratio 7.6%, and as Riikka mentioned, the capital adequacy ratio 25%, and the Tier 1 22.7%. Our liquidity portfolio is still very strong, and it's 3.1 billion euros, and the investment portfolio is around 300 million euros. In liquidity, we can see that the level 1 assets, they are dominating the whole liquidity portfolio. They comprise 94% of that. Both LCR and NSFR ratios, they were still strong, 155 and 238%. And as a summary, so our operating profit was in line with the guidance. We have had very good years, 2023 and 2024. Our loan to deposit after this acquisition is now 98%. Our non-performing loans quite stable, and our capital base is very robust. So that was the summary of my part.
Thank you, Mika. And let's check if there would be any questions. We are happy to answer. No. But then thank you for your attention, and we wish you very nice rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.